I really don't know how to start this. It's like a hard thing to do, but we decided to both do it.
We have to do like a...
We should be professionals.
Huh? Professional click. Cheers. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Should we maybe start it off with like dramatic, like?
Oh damn! I was in it, bro. Babe.
Guys, obviously we're gonna break up. If you guys fell for it, y'all aren't real ones. Yeah. But the last time we posted the video about like kind of how we met, how we started talking, and
it started getting juicy where we're like, we broke up at one point, this and this and that, and everybody wants to see the second part of us like kind of breaking up and all that type of situation, so we're gonna give it to you guys.
Here it is, part 2 of when we broke up, what even happened, why we broke up, what led up to it, you know, when we broke up, and how we even got back together.
I think you would start off because you always remember all of this, and I kind of...
So Ricardo like remembers like half of the details or 10% of the details, but I remember everything. This was really traumatizing for me.
We're gonna do a mukbang, but we accidentally ate breakfast already, so we're like, we'll just eat paletas. So we're eating paletas.
Yep.
Guys, we got new Crocs.
I have mine on. They're Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Crocs.
Maze balls.
We're gonna take it back again to 2015. 2015, September of 2015. And keep in mind, we had gotten together in May of 2015, so it had been like
4 months?
Yeah. It has
like 4
literally
months.
been like 4 months since we were like officially a couple. So, and throughout those 4 months, like we had a good relationship. Like we loved each other and we had good times when we were together. But there was a lot of issues that we had like in the back burner. Like I had a lot of trust issues. I was really jealous. We communicated, but it was like definitely like not the right way. And so there was like a lot of like things that we needed to get better at, right? And we didn't realize it at the time.
Mind again, we're 14, 15 years old.
We were 14.
We didn't have that communication skills that we have now, that we didn't have before, so that's why we had that problem.
All of that eventually led up to the specific day where we broke up. But before the day we broke up, we had already like had been having fights about Ricardo, and then like his ex-girlfriends would always like text me things about their relationship, or like they kind of would like get into my head and stuff like that, which is what they wanted. They would get into my head, but it wasn't like something that would make me break up with Ricardo. It would just kind of make me a little bit more insecure, I guess. And so it just kind of built up because it wasn't just one, it was like multiple of them and stuff like that. And finally one day there's this girl, right? Yeah, this girl came up to you and I during lunch, and she said, oh, like, hi, da-da-da, and then she just left. I was like, oh yeah, I guess she had been back from another school or something like that. And I was like, okay. And I don't even think we even talked about it after it happened. Like,
it was just like awkward thing, and then we just...
Anyways, that was like weird, but I kind of forgot about it. I was like, oh, that's weird, whatever. Days afterwards, I was coming out of my PE class, and Ricardo would pick me up after PE, and we would walk to like wherever we would always spend lunchtime at. And so this particular day, I walk out and Ricardo's waiting for me, but there's a girl, the same girl next to him. And like, you know, what I've been saying, like I was really jealous, and I had already heard from somebody else that I guess Ricardo had talked to this girl, so that just kind of was like, okay, what the fuck. And so then I just stood right next to them, and Ricardo didn't see me. He says he didn't see me, but I swore he ignored me. So then I was mad. I was like, why are you, one, ignoring me, and two, why are you even talking to her if you guys like had history, you know?
Are you mad? Because if you are, I'm sorry.
So I got mad. My friends were walking past, so I just left with them and I just walked away. And then after, Ricardo was like texting me like, where are you? And the whole lunchtime I spent it in the restroom in the building. So I was just in there like mad as fuck. He kept calling me, he kept texting me, and I wasn't answering him. And did you like get tired of it at some point?
I mean, lunch was only like what, half an hour? Eventually those half an hour stopped, and I was texting her, calling her because we have this certain spot we have at lunch. So I went there because I assumed that she was there already. So I went there, and then she wasn't there, so I started texting her while I was there sitting there. So like eventually the bell rang. She was already in the new building, and her class was in the new building, and I had a class like basically across the school. So I was already there, and then we just went to class, and it just
regardless, he ends up like kind of picking me up for my last class, but the whole way there, like I wasn't holding his hand, I wasn't talking to him, and he kept telling me like what's wrong, and I don't even exactly remember like the whole details, but all I remember is that right before he like dropped me off and then he was gonna go to his last class, he like told me he loved me and like he tried to give me a kiss or something, and I was like no, and like he just left like that, and I was like so mad. I just went on with my day. I went home. Ricardo always had practice, so
so I'll get home to like 5.
Yeah.
6.
And so while he was at practice, I was like just out there thinking what I was gonna tell him and all this stuff, and I was gonna be dramatic like I always was and tell him that I didn't want to be with him anymore, which was something that I had done in the past, but he would always be like no, like whatever, let's fix this, kind of like wanting the attention, you know, like, so he's like no, don't leave me type thing. And I did it. When he got back from practice, he texted me and he said
yeah, what?
let's break up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember. I was in my room and she was texting me that. I'm like, alright.
It was in my room. It was a long argument, like over text, because we started talking about, you know, like the girl, and then I started talking about like why was he doing that, and he kept telling me like what was I doing, like I didn't even ignore you, like what are you talking about? And I swore he had ignored me. I swore he was like doing bad shit, and eventually I was like I don't even want to be with you, and then he was like yeah, me too, and we broke up. And like a little bit after that I was like no way. I was like no, like like I was just kidding, you know.
She's basically telling me like take me back. Like
I didn't tell you actually in the moment.
Oh, not at the moment. This was like, what, the next day when you told me this? Because it was on a Friday. We didn't go to school
like
the next
no,
day.
like you kind of, then after that he like completely ghosted me and he stopped talking to me. And my friend, which like I had introduced my friend, my guy friend, to Ricardo, and they had became friends, so it was like a mutual friend we had. I kept telling him they were in football. You guys were in football. Oh, you were in football at the time, but they had football together. And I kept telling him like, well, like please talk to him, like, because he's not answering me, like tell him I want to talk to him. And then he would be like, nah, like he's really hurt, he doesn't really want to talk.
I don't know any of that, like between that conversation with you two.
Yeah, and then you like just stopped talking to me completely for like the whole month, because we broke up like the last couple of days of September, like right after your birthday.
Yeah, that's why I was fucked up too. It was just after my birthday.
Right after your birthday, and your birthday September 27th. So like basically the beginning of October, and then the whole month of October he stopped talking to me. And like I would try to, for the first like 2 weeks, I would try to text him. He would never respond. Like it was like completely like cut me off, and I was so hurt because like I thought we were gonna be together forever, and like I thought that like he would never stop talking to me, all that stuff, and then boom, like out of nowhere, like, and I felt worse because I felt like I was the one that had caused that. So the whole month I was like, oh, my brother does. He stops talking to me the whole month, and I eventually start like feeling a little bit more. Oh, my mom finds out that we broke up because I was so sad or whatever, and she didn't even know I had a boyfriend.
While I talk about that little thing
That you had.
So basically, the reason why I knew that her mom found out was because like after we got back together, she had told me. She told me that they were going to Starbucks and they were getting a drink, and her mom asked her if she wanted one, and Edith said no. And as soon as she said no,
because I was a fat ass back
her
then,
mom
like,
asked her, why don't you want one? And she said that she just busted into tears.
I started crying, bro.
She started crying.
So my mom took my phone away, which made it easier for me not to text him.
Yeah, because you're not like looking at like,
so
messages
she took my phone away for like a month, so that whole month I didn't text him at all anymore, and I felt like I was healing. Like I felt like, okay, I'm over it, like whatever, like it wasn't even a real thing.
So your mom actually did you
also at school, that same girl that we had the argument about, you were with her in school and stuff, so I was like, see, like I wasn't even right, like he's not fucking worth it, like whatever. So it made it a little bit easier because I was like hating you more than anything. So the whole month of October we basically didn't talk. Well, I was forced not to talk to him, and then he like didn't want to talk to me. And then November rolls around, and it was like, it would have been like our like 6-month anniversary or something like that. And I remember we would wear like the Batman shirts. You had a Batman shirt, and then I had bought a Batman shirt so we could twin, and so I put it on. It was like the 21st of November or something like that, and I had put it on and took a picture with it, and then like I was smiling or something like that, and then you swiped up to it. I don't remember what you said.
I honestly don't remember what I said when I swiped up.
I don't really remember what you said exactly either, but it was something along the lines of like, oh, I remember, it was a sad emoji.
I sent you a sad emoji?
No, it was me in the with the Batman shirt, and it was like our anniversary, like what would have been our 6-month anniversary, and it was like an emoji, the sad emoji though. Put it right here on the screen. It was like the sad emoji, and then you swiped up and said something like, what's wrong, or like, I'm always here to talk. You were there to talk if like I need whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And then we stopped texting, but it was the first time we had texted again since we had broken up, and it was like a month or a month and a half afterwards. And I had felt like I was already over the situation, and then I was also kind of like talking to somebody else as well. Like it was not because I liked the other person, but it was because like he was really nice and he like gave me attention. So I felt like, okay, I'm moving on or whatever. And when he texted me that, I was like, no, I miss you. like the 21st, and then Thanksgiving was like a couple of days later, but we didn't text at all until Thanksgiving of 2015.
It was the day after Thanksgiving. Or the day of, right? It was the day of, I remember, because we were at my aunt's house and we were going back home because she had
texted in the car?
Yeah, she had just posted a picture and she told me that she did it on purpose. The reason why I texted back was because she posted a picture and it was, did I comment or just like texted you on messages?
You sent me a sad emoji.
Yeah, I think.
And I was like, in that time, I was like, what's wrong? And then you were kind of like, it doesn't matter, never mind. And I was like, no, it does. Like, tell me. And then you were like, you really want to know? And I was like, yeah. You always build shit up like that. And then he told me, I miss you. But anyways, the whole backstory with that picture, I'm gonna put it right here. I still have it. It was like a black and white picture. It was back when I had lost a lot of weight and I was like really skinny. I had this dress on that like fit me really good. My ass was popping out. No, I made my ass pop out. I was like, and I intentionally posted this picture because I wanted him to see it and I wanted him to like be like, oh, look what I'm missing out on.
It worked.
Yeah, it did work. He freaking swiped that work. It was on Snapchat. I posted it on Snapchat, and I think you could like send the chat.
I could close it and just go to the messages.
No, you could like respond to it. Oh, I don't know. But he sent me a sad emoji, the same one that I had put on my picture. And so then once all that happened, where I was like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "It doesn't matter. Never mind." I was like, "I really want to know. Tell me, you really want to know?" I was like, "Yeah." So he basically said he missed me, and obviously I missed him. I remember that Thanksgiving, I was crying in my room, and it was right before we were gonna eat Thanksgiving dinner, and I was out there like cleaning my tears because I had to go like because I was getting ready, you know. We started texting then. That was when we started texting. I told him that I missed him as well, and we kind of started talking. Like we did start talking, but it was not like we were dating. Like he would text me, but not all the time. Yeah. And then he was talking to other people as well.
So it's back to like the beginning of our relationship where I would text her and then kind of like nah, and then text her again and then nah.
It wasn't that bad, but it was like not like how we were talking every single day when we were dating. And so then fast forward like probably like 2-3 weeks after that, it was like mid-December. I really wanted to get back together with him, but he wasn't really like, he was like flirting with me, but he didn't show signs that he wanted to get back together in terms of like him telling me I want to get back together, literally. So at some point I kind of like built the guts and I asked him out. I wrote this long paragraph saying like how much I missed him, like how I was gonna change, I wasn't gonna be jealous anymore, I wasn't gonna be like toxic, I guess you could say, and you know, change. And he protected me.
I had a reason. My reasoning was I was with my dad at the time, so he was moving to another city, so I was gonna move with him, and I was just like, how am I gonna get back with Edith if I'm not even gonna be like in the same school anymore? Because I was gonna transfer to a different school.
It was gonna be like a school that was like 30 minutes away, which doesn't even sound like a lot, but at the time I wasn't even allowed to go with him, like even stay with him after school or anything like that. Like I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. My parents didn't know I had a boyfriend, so if he left, it was literally like going to be like I was never going to see him again.
Well, how did you feel when I told you?
I tried to convince you and tell you that we would make it work out, and like to me it was like I didn't even care. I just wanted us to be back together, and I told you that we would FaceTime and all that stuff. I wasn't able to convince you. After that, I was like so devastated, and eventually I told him that I couldn't like keep talking because he said no, and like he just kept talking to me like before, like flirting and stuff like that, and he would just like mess with my head so much. And I was like, okay, if you don't want to get back together, then we can't keep talking because it's just hurting me, you know, because I really want to get back together with you. You're flirting with me, but you don't want to be my boyfriend. So I told him, I was like, we can't talk anymore. So we stopped talking like through Christmas time, and then I don't know how, I really genuinely do not remember how we started talking again closer to New Year's, and my quinceañera was going to be in January, so it was like 2 weeks away. I think that's when I invited you. I invited you to my quinceañera, so that kind of made us start talking again. And that time it was so different. I don't know what changed in you, because you still thought you were gonna move to another city.
But anyway, she invited me to her 15. I went to her 15, and like her friends were kind of my friends, and like it was kind of weird because her mom knew that we had broken up, so like I had to say hi to her mom, and I was just like and her dad didn't know, but I also said hi to your dad. But it was
to my dad. Yeah. My whole quinceañera, I got close to him one time, and it was in the bar. Remember? Because my parents weren't around, and it was kind of enclosed. We took a picture. Remember?
Do you still have it?
I don't know.
I don't know if I have it.
We took a picture. It was like the only picture we took in a quinceañera, because like the rest of the time I couldn't get close to him. Like sitting at a table that was like far away, and like never got close to me or anything. Other than, well, when I went to you in the bar.
It was so awkward, bruh.
It was.
I felt so awkward that
But
day.
I was so happy you were there. Like, even though we didn't talk or anything, like, I was just so happy that you had gone. So, my quinceañera was like January 16th, and it was on a Saturday, and it was a 3-day weekend because it was something like Martin Luther King's birthday or something like that. So, my birthday was on Saturday. I mean, my quinceañera was on Saturday, and then Sunday rolled around. It was like the after party, and then Monday was the day that we had off from school, and that night, something was triggered in Ricardo's big ass head. Since you had gone to my quinceañera, and even before you had gone to my quinceañera, we were like really flirty. And then
like we would text each other saying like I love you before we started dating. And then I was just like, let's just make this official.
Yeah, he told me, he was like, you want to be my girlfriend? And I was like, stop lying to me. He's like, no, for real, like I want you to be my girlfriend. Like, will you be my girlfriend? And I was like, no way. And he's like, yep. And then I was like, oh. And then the next day, because this was like at night, it was like Monday night, and then the next day was Tuesday. We went to school and we finally saw each other. We were hugging each other. And then moving forward from there, I feel like that really taught us, one, like we had to stop acting the way we were acting beforehand. I had to stop being jealous, and like, so I would get mad over like the smallest things.
We would need to be adults at the age of 15.
I definitely think that if we wouldn't have broken up then, we would have so many problems now. I don't know if we would be together now.
We would have probably gotten so much on each other's nerves.
But it definitely like made me realize that I really did love him, and he really loved me, obviously.
Yeah, because it came to the point to where my dad was gonna actually move, and he moved, and I decided to stay with my grandparents because my grandparents live like down the street from where Edith lives. Not anymore because they recently moved.
That's how much like he sacrificed, and how much like he made me know that he really did love me when we had gotten back together, because he didn't end up moving with his dad 30 minutes away to another school. He ended up staying with his grandparents,
so
and
we finished high school together.
We finished high school together, and he basically stopped seeing his dad every single day. Would only see him during the weekends when he would pick him up. For me, damn baby, you really love me. But yeah, after that, like I said, our communication skills were so much better. I wasn't like jealous at all anymore.
I could go up to a girl and slap her ass and she would have said imagine.
I know, like, I trust him now. Like, I really do trust him. And before, I didn't trust him at all.
Well, I mean, I would understand where she was coming from, because I was talking to like multiple girls, and like I wouldn't know why she would be not trusting. If you guys want another story time, I ended up cheating on her.
Yeah. Fast forward to now, so we're gonna have our, how many years? 7-year anniversary in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks, bro. Oh my gosh.
7 years being together, and then we got married last year, so it's gonna be 1 year officially since we got married. It feels like it was yesterday since we got married.
We actually have a lot of things coming up. We have our anniversary coming. We're going to a wedding. Edith's leaving to Cabo. Like, we have a lot of things coming up right now.
And we are doing another trip. We officially booked it last night.
Oh, for my birthday, we're going to We're
not gonna say where we're going exactly, but we're going to a hotel in another country, and it's gonna be amazing. And I'm pretty sure we're going with Natalie and Jacob.
Yep.
It's gonna be even better. That's basically the story of how we broke up, which in my opinion is how it got us where we're at right now, because we definitely needed to learn these types of things early on, and it built a really good foundation for us now. And now we don't have any like jealousy problems, any trust problems, none of that. It's out of the window. Like, if we have problems, definitely not that.
No.
That was a juicy story, and I hated every single second of it, but you know, everything literally happens for a reason. I live by that. Thank you for breaking up with me, I guess. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this juicy part 2. You guys really wanted to know about this second part. That's what happened, and that's how we got back together. Thank you guys so much for watching.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.